back to the topic of Andrew Tate, I think it's really interesting because when you look at his views of anybody who's unlike him, whether it be a woman or somebody who's not a fighter or anything like that, they don't have any opinions that's worth listening to, right? And it's because he's decided who he is. That's where he gets his value from. Unfortunately, it doesn't make him any happier as a person. And so now he has to get clones. He needs to get other Andrew Tates who think and feel the same way. So then he can go, okay, well, they're all doing it. Therefore, this is the path to happiness, despite the fact that I'm paying them to do it. And that is the problem, is that as long as you're identifying, you cut yourself off from numerous opportunities to grow. Like his idea that I would never have a conversation with a woman that didn't involve me trying to get sex at the end of it. That is the funniest and most shallow, insecure statement I think I've heard in months. And it's just because he's unwilling to see that they have the same consciousness that he does. Like because he's so wrapped up in himself and his own value, anybody who's different has less value. And he can't help but perceive them that way. And so it's really interesting to watch because that man is going to make a lot of money on that mentality because it's so widespread, because our society is in all ways reinforcing the idea that you are what you think you are. And the more money you have, the more valuable you are. Yeah, he's gonna rake it in hand over fist for sure. But the problem is that all of those people are going to end up a little bit farther back on their journey than they were when they found Andrew Tate, right? And that's unfortunately where I guess dualistic unity really comes in, because our whole point is that this conversation shouldn't add anything to your life. This conversation should just be a part of it, right? If it's a part of your life and you're listening and you're growing, that's on you. It's not us, right? Which is why we don't charge for the podcast. Is why we don't charge for almost everything, because we're already benefiting. This is us taking advantage of our own path. The three people that you see on your screen, or the three people that you're listening to right now, all individually are accountable for their own existences. And that's what's led them to have this conversation, in the same way that the listener has been led to this conversation through their own choices. That's it. That's the work in itself. There's nobody to convince. There's nothing to sell. There is no end result to shoot for.